And we're going to get started, folks. We're going to get started on today because what we want to do today is we want to give you guys a roadmap, right? The roadmap is going to allow you to figure out how you're going to scale your business. Now, a lot of people, the whole scaling word, I think, is overused quite a bit, right? But nonetheless, you want to be able to have a roadmap to grow your business, okay? And that end of that roadmap is different for everybody. For some people, it might mean they want to have like their own, their own brokerage. For some people, it's just like, I just want to be real successful doing what I'm doing and be a lone wolf, right? So what we're going to do is, folks, is we're going to go through a couple what I call stops or waypoints, which is basically like stops along the journey. Like figure you're on like a train, right? And the train is going in a certain direction, and it's going to have a few stops along the way. Okay, we want to show you what those stops are. We want to get you guys in the right direction. So, folks, type 1 in the chat if you feel like you have a roadmap and know exactly how you're going to get to where you're going. If you don't feel like you have a roadmap, we got to get you started, okay? So what we're going to be going over, folks, is we're going to be going over the roadmap. So the number one thing that you need to consider is first thing you got to do, number one, you got to get better at what you are doing, okay? What does that mean? Number one, you have to start having a process, okay? You have to be able to repeat business. Have you ever felt that like, man, you can get it closed once you got it, but just not sure where your next deal is coming from, okay? Guys, what's lacking in your business is a repeatable process, okay? Don't worry, you're not alone. A lot of people lack a process. In fact, if I were to go over to here and show you our process, okay? I want you to see, guys, this is the Dark Horse process, all right? This is what we do over and over and over again in order to be able to repeat a result, okay? Because doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that's called insanity. We all agree upon that, okay? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting more or less the same result, that's called a system. So our system is very simple. Ready? Know who you're going after. Aim, know what you're going after. And acquire is once you acquire the listings, how do you find buyers so that you can get it sold? Okay, it's a 3-step process, and it's 3-phase process broken up into 9 steps. Okay, if you can do all these right every single time, every time, you're going to have a strong business. All right, folks. So what I want to show you guys is once you have that process in place, okay, then I want you to be able to go and get much better at what you're doing. Okay. Get better at what you're doing, because what that'll allow you to do is get better at what you're doing. And by having a process that allow you to replicate those results. Okay. So the next thing I want you guys to understand is, all right, number 3 is that once you replicate those results, then you need to delegate. Can anybody tell me the 3 most important activities? I'm going to give you guys a hint. Okay. It's PPF. Okay. Everything but the PPF you delegate. Okay. Can anybody tell me what that is? Okay. Laura's got it. Yep. Prospecting. Good. Anybody else? We got prospecting, we have presenting, and we have following up. What those mean? Yes, you need to be prospecting and presenting and following up the majority of your day. If you guys aren't doing those 3 things, folks, I don't care how many times you bake cookies and bring them to a client's office. I don't care how many people you take out for coffee. I don't care how many people you go to brunch with. I don't care how many networking events you go to, how many business cards you hand out. None of it means anything unless you're doing the things that really matter. Make sense, folks? Okay. If you want to climb a ladder, okay, you can talk to your friends about it. You can watch YouTube videos about it. You can tell everybody you're going to do it. Or you can get in there and one rung after the next, do that. Does that make sense, guys? Have any of you, okay, myself included, I've been guilty of this in the past, right? Type a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt like you avoid doing that thing. You avoid doing that one thing that you should be doing, but probably aren't doing enough of it. If I don't get a 1 from every single person on this call, I've got the wrong audience. There we go. Katya's with me, Janet's with me, Maria's with me. Okay, guys, we're all human. Okay, things come up. Some days this thing feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. You with me, guys? Okay, but what you need to do is every single day move the ball forward. Even if you're not in your best form every single day, move the ball forward. Just get a little bit better every single day at what you're doing. Once you have a process, once you learn to delegate, then you can grow. All right. So once you're able to do that, then things get really interesting. So these are the phases that you're going to go through when scaling your business. Okay. First one is going to be, guys, lone wolf. Lone wolf goes like this. You do everything. You do all the research. Okay. You do all of the calling. You do all of the flyers. You do all of the MLS posting. You do all of the stuff that you put on LoopNet. You do everything. Guys, type an exclamation point in the chat if that's you currently. Okay? Folks, this is tough. This is the hardest part. Put an exclamation point in the chat if that's you guys. You are a lone wolf right now. Yes. Okay. Good. 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 We have some honest people here, right? Because chances are, if you got a whole team built out, you don't need this call, right? If you're interested in scaling your business, you need to understand what the phases are. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to recognize is it doesn't have to be there forever. All you have to do is create a repeatable process, and then you'll be able to take to the next step. Okay. And which is hire your first admin. Guys, it was a blessed day. I will never, ever forget it. It was the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, and I was coming in on Memorial Day weekend Monday to work because I had so much. I had like a dozen listings. I was a new listing agent, and I had so many listings that I said, "Oh man, I got to come in and just handle all the this and the that and the this." And I mentioned it to somebody that had the office next to me. And I'm like, hey, if you know anybody that's looking for part-time work, let me know. And guess what? They're like, oh, sure. A friend of mine's mom is absolutely. And guess what? Memorial Day Monday, the lady came in. She started that Tuesday, and it was the best decision I ever made. And I never have not had an admin. And I think that was like 7 years ago. I want to say something like that. Okay. So the point I want you guys to understand is, as soon as you get a repeatable business process, okay, as soon as you can afford an admin, you need to get one, okay? The reason being, folks, all right, everybody type in the chat what your hourly rate is, okay? If you don't know what your hourly rate is, take what you want to earn this year and divide it by 2,000. So if you want to earn $100,000 this year, 100,000 divided by 2,000 equals 50. Okay, put that in the chat. All right, Janet wants to earn 250. Love it. Okay, so that's 250. That's her hourly rate. Guess what? That's $500,000 an hour. I'm sorry, $500,000 a year, right? So who else? Go ahead and put your hourly rate in there, folks. Okay, all right. You have to know what your time is worth. Step one, before you can realize, well, when is a good use of my time? Okay, folks. When you realize, in Janet's case, $250 an hour is what her time is worth, guess what? It doesn't pay to put flyers on the MLS. It doesn't pay to put together email blasts. It doesn't pay, right? Okay, Kelly's with me. Okay, good. Keys at 110, Kelly's 250. Good. So, folks, if you can hire somebody for a fraction of your hourly rate, do so immediately. Because put it this way, Katja says 75, I'm cheap, LOL. Yeah. So here's the thing though, folks, even $75 an hour, right? If you cut that in half, right? If you get to get someone to do something for $30 an hour, right? Their time, you get to buy hours of your day back. And the reality of it is, folks, you can hire people overseas for $5 and $6 an hour. I have done it. Okay. Right. And I don't mean 10 years ago. I mean like last week. Right. So the point I want you guys to understand is there are plenty of people out there that will be more than willing to help you grow your business and charge you $5 or $6 an hour. Folks, what are you waiting for? Type a 5 in the chat if that sounds pretty awesome. someone that has done it before and will help you. Maybe they've been a real estate a VA before. All right, guys, do me a favor. How many of you feel, type 24 in the chat if you feel that 24 hours in a day just is not enough time. Guys, type a 24 in the chat if you just feel like 24 hours in the day is just not enough time to get everything done. Okay, exactly. Okay, Katya's with me, Janet's with me, Kelly's with me. Yeah, Sanja's with me. Exactly, folks. You know the best way to do that? Okay, buyback time. Okay, there's a reason, folks, where I get like 40 hours of productivity a day, 30 hours of productivity a day, depending on the day. Can anybody guess why? How can I have the same 24 hours as you guys, how could I get 40 hours or 30 hours of productivity every day? How's that possible, folks? I multiply my efforts by paying others to help me with my goals. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. All right. So think about it. There are plenty of people out there that are willing to help you grow your business. Okay. Hire your first admin. How many of you would like to buy 3 hours of your day back for $15 a day? For what lunch at Chipotle costs, okay? You could brown bag it, bring a ham sandwich from home or whatever, right? Janet's with me, right? Bring a sandwich from home, save yourself 12 bucks, and buy someone's time for 2.5 hours. Does that sound like a good use of that? The same amount of money you'd probably wind up spending on lunch, okay, at Panera Bread, right? Shoot, a soda, chips, and a sandwich at Subway's 12, 13 bucks an hour. Guys, that could be your entire VA budget. Does that make sense, guys? Type an exclamation point if that's like, oh my gosh, that's a light bulb moment for me. All right. Tell me, guys, is that a light bulb moment for any of you? Yeah, Jasmine's with me, Katja's with me. Good. Because the stuff that you and I think is just like, it's just throwaway money. You add that up, folks. I guarantee there's one subscription or 2 subscriptions or 3 subscriptions that are being taken and added to your bill, whether it's on Amazon or Apple or whatever, that if you just went through and canceled those things, okay, and applied that money towards a virtual assistant, you would have at least 2 hours in your day back 5 days a week. Guaranteed you could find $10 a day worth from your subscriptions. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Okay. So what I want you guys to understand is, number one, if you're a lone wolf, there's only so fast, so far you can go. Okay. Think about it. It's like running a race, okay, with a 30-pound pack on your back. And you're running and you're running and you're running. And the guy next to you is flying because guess what? He doesn't have a pound of anything on his back. In fact, you know what? He's got people pushing him from behind, right? That's like what having a team allows you to do. So step number one, you want to hire your first admin, okay? That'll free up time. That'll allow you to increase the size of your business. That allowed me to 3x my business in 24 months, guys, okay? Pre-COVID, I went from 140 a year to 500 a year in 24 months because I hired my first admin. Folks, I created a system that worked and I hired my first admin. And guess what? Tripled my business in 24 months time. Type 3X in the chat, guys, if you'd like to 3X your business between now and May of 2026, right? Be making 3 times what you're making now, folks. It's pretty freaking awesome. Okay, cool. And then finally, the last step, you can be a mean machine, okay, if you hire yourself a transaction coordinator. Why? Imagine this. Picture this, guys, okay? You're driving down the road. People are making calls, all the deals that you have going on. You got 15 or 20 listings. All this stuff's going on. One thing that comes to the next. And someone calls you and says, hey, we're willing to get this deal done, but you got to change, and we need an addendum. It's going to close next week, but we just got to get it. And all you do is you make one phone call to your transaction coordinator while you're driving down the highway on the way to your next business meeting. And guess what happens, folks? Okay, you get in, all right, and you're able to you're able to go in there and you're able to change what's going on. You're able to change the paperwork without even having to open up your laptop. All you do is you make one phone call and you say, hey, can you do me a favor? Okay. Can you go ahead and send over an agreement so that everybody that's involved in the deal can have an addendum so that XYZ, ABC, and guess what? It gets done while you're on your way to the next place. Folks, that's what a transaction coordinator does. Okay. You with me, guys? Better yet, you push the speakerphone on your steering wheel as you're driving. You call your assistant and you have them call the transaction coordinator with the details, right? The point is, folks, if you are trying to run this race, okay, and you are a lone wolf, you're only going to go so far and you're only going to go so fast. It's the equivalent of having, you know, a 40-pound weight on your back, okay? But the second you can afford it, or even before you feel like you can afford it, invest in it. The reason being, you're going to be able to move a lot faster and a lot further. Does that make sense, guys? Type an exclamation point in the chat, okay? The very best thing you can possibly do for your business is when you don't have enough hours of the day and you're getting up every single day and you're getting after it and you're getting business and you're so busy, and the limit to your business is how many hours you are able to work, and you're working all the hours you're supposed to be, then it's time for your first admin. And when you get that up and going, you get that rocking, then you bring on a transaction coordinator. Who here wants to have a way of getting a free employee? Does anybody interested? I want to see a capital M, capital E from 10 people before I teach you this. Okay, Jasmine's the first one. Okay, Sonia's with me. That's 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, any more? Anyone else? 5. Okay, good. 6. All right, come on, keep them coming, guys. 7. All right, couple more, and I'm going to share with you. 8. Karen, good, good, good. All right, Olga's 9. Okay. All right, Terry's 10. Okay, cool. We got 10 people interested. Folks, this is how you get yourself a free transaction coordinator. This is really cool. Step 1, you hire a transaction coordination company, and what they allow you to do is they charge X amount. That's fine. Okay, a lot of them work on contingency. No problem. Perfect. Well, guess what, folks? You hire a transaction, so which means if the deal doesn't close, you don't pay them anything. That's pretty awesome. Does that sound like your goals are aligned? You better believe it, okay? The next thing I want you guys to understand is once you hire this transaction coordination company, in your listing agreements, it's going to be very, very simple. All you're going to do is put $399 administration fee for XYZ ABC. All you have to do is just put that will be paid at time of closing. What does that mean? It means that only if the deal closes, okay, but at the time of the closing, the seller is going to pay a $399 transaction fee, which means somebody looked over your transactions, sent out all the emails, sent out the timelines, sent out any addendums that were needed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the things that a good transaction coordinator does, okay, they did for you, and it didn't cost you a dime. Guys, type a exclamation point in the chat if that is something you want. You now know how to hire a free transaction coordinator. Find a company that works on contingency, bake whatever their fee is into your listing agreements. Okay, Janet's with me, Maria's with me. Good, 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 good. Folks, I want you to understand all this stuff is right under your fingertips once you have a system. Remember, folks, the most important part, the thing that allows you to scale your business, is to have repeatability. Folks, do me a favor, okay? Write the word repeatability. Repeatable, let's just say, because repeatability, that's a long one. I probably misspelled that myself, right? Type in the chat, repeatable, if you want to have a repeatable, because that's the only way you're going to be able to have business, okay? Over and over and over again. Can you guys hear me clearly? Someone said that my sound keeps going in and out. Is it going in and out? Are we good? Thumbs up? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Most important thing, folks, is first you do step 1, then you do step 2, then you do step 3. You with me, folks? Okay. Very, very important to understand. If you can't get step 1, step 2, step 3 over and over and over again, you'll never be able to have a repeatable result. Does that make sense, folks? It's like you're like baking a cake, you're making chocolate chip cookies, okay? And then one time, instead of putting I don't know, chocolate chips in there, you put Raisinets. Is that going to taste a little bit different? Yeah. And then the next time, rather than putting sugar in there, you put a cup of salt in there. Is that going to taste different? You better believe it, right? So you can't go and change the recipe every time and expect the same outcome. It's only when we have the same recipe that we can have the same outcome. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So type system, SYSTEM. Okay. If you want to have a system, all right, because that is the only time that we are able to have a repeatable system, right? Like we have here, like we show you here. Step 1, identify. Step 2, filter. Step 3, research. Step 4, call. If you want to have every single piece in place in order, okay, that's the only way you're going to be able to have a repeatable system. Okay, so looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Remember, step 1 as a review. Okay, step 1 is, as a lone wolf, you got to do everything yourself. The fastest way to get out of becoming a lone wolf or staying a lone wolf is to create a repeatable system. Once you get that repeatable system in place, then you can start hiring an admin, buy back your time. Once you do that, then it allows you to do more of the PPF, the prospecting, the presenting, and following up. And guess what happens? Once you start paying that person 10 to 15 bucks a day, guess what? Then you can start doing the high value stuff even more, and your business grows even more. That's called a flywheel, folks. Okay. So once you get that going, the third piece to put in place is a transaction coordinator, someone that's going to help give you some of your time back so that you don't have to manage all of your transactions. Okay. That is the 3-step formula to scaling your business. But it all starts with a scalable, repeatable system. Hope you're having a good night. Take care.